This is 7 National News, and in our top story. His Highness Dr. Sheikh Sultan bin Mohammed Al Qasimi, the Supreme Council member and ruler of Sharjah, has approved the general budget for the Emirate of Sharjah, with total expenses amounting to some 17.7 billion dirhams. According to a report by Emirates news agency WAM, Sheikh Mohammed bin Saud Al Qasimi, the chairman of Sharjah's Central Finance Department, stated that this year's budget underpinned Sheikh Sultan's directives to stimulate the Emirates economy so as to post economic growth rates that consolidate Sharjah's place in the regional and global economic landscape. The economic development sector will take 45% of the 17.7 billion dirham budget, an increase of 4% over the 2014 figure. The infrastructure sector receives 34% of the total budget, a growth of 1% in allocations compared to 2014. The budget takes into consideration Sharjah's standing as the capital of the Islamic and Arab culture, with allocations rising 1% to 17%. Allocations for the governance sector will also increase 8% in this year's budget. A breakdown of expenditures showed that operational expenditure took 45% of total government expenditures, a rate that is higher than recognized international benchmarks. In the second place were salaries and wages at 28%, followed by capital expenditures on infrastructure at 22%. Payments of loans stood at 3%. Around 3 tons of Niswar, the raw oral tobacco and substances used in its manufacturing process, were seized in an unlicensed lab in Musaffah industrial area in Abu Dhabi. The seizure was made by Abu Dhabi Municipality in cooperation with Abu Dhabi Police and Abu Dhabi Prosecution. Khalifa Al-Rumaythi, Director of Public Health at Abu Dhabi Municipality, said the lab was located in an industrial area that had multiple unlicensed buildings inhabited by more than 200 workers. He said the area lacked minimal health requirements. Using Niswar is illegal since it is made from several hazardous chemicals such as lime. A misconception among a large segment of youths is that Niswar can help smokers give up smoking, which Al-Rumaythi said is a false belief, since both materials are harmful to health, in addition to the psychological state caused by Niswar abuse, which causes nervousness, sleep disorder, constant restlessness, and psychological and neurological disorders. The UAE's 10 billion dirham investment in the education sector for 2014-16 is driving high demand for quality teaching professionals. In response, ETeach, an online education recruitment specialist in the UK, has recently opened its office in Dubai. Education is among the UAE's high-growth sectors. At present, the country has 506 private schools, catering to an estimated number of 450,000 students and 33,000 staff. With the ongoing development, these numbers are expected to grow exponentially. Schools will need to modify their methods for recruiting quality teachers to ensure that they meet the demand for places, according to Jonathan Price, Recruitment Managing Director of ETeach International, a part of the UK's online teacher job board and recruitment business ETeach.com. This is the first of its kind in the Middle East, dedicated solely to the teaching profession. Through their company, Price says they will be able to increase the options available and help both new and existing schools maximize their recruitment budgets.
There are a number of new schools coming up every year, 11 last year, 18 this year, and that's just Dubai alone. Those schools will require good quality teachers, because although a school will build its swimming pools and its auditoriums and everything else, at the end of the day, what makes a great school is great teachers. So we're here to provide a service to every private school in the region, not just within the UAE, but in the GCC and further afield, to help them bring teachers that they require to enhance their teaching and learning. A challenge here is promoting the other Emirates, because I think the marketing machine behind Etihad and Emirates and various things like this, and the whole world has now heard of Dubai, not so much so with some of the other ones. So that's a challenge for us, is promoting these other areas, which are fantastic in terms of the quality of education that they have and the facilities they have, but trying to get teachers involved in the other Emirates.
With competition for qualified teachers increasing, schools need to promote their offering not only to parents and pupils, as well as have an excellent employer brand to ensure they attract the best in teaching talents.
Good teachers engage the students. Good teachers have personality that they bring into a classroom. And good teachers have high expectations of everyone in their class. High but realistic. So we do pre-screening. We don't just send everything along to the school. We also do more than that. If we go down our leadership route, and a school wants us to be heavily involved in their appointment of a new principal or a senior manager within the school, we can meet with the Board of Trustees or the Board of Governors, ascertain the skill set that they're looking for, meet with people, go through our database, which is over 1 million candidates at the moment, see if we've got someone there already. If we haven't, then we actively go out and seek this person with that skill set. So we work alongside the client school right the way through the process. That should enable us to find the quality or the type of role they're looking for. So that's ETeach's USP on that, a little bit different to some of the other providers in the market.
The Federal National Council's Human Rights Committee have visited the Ministry of Social Affairs and Dubai Women Establishment as part of its action plan to discuss the government policy on combating domestic violence. Ali Jassim, chairman of the committee, said the panel had visited the two institutions to get first-hand information on challenges facing enforcement of legislations on domestic violence and community-based programs. Members of the committee inquired about its role in handling domestic violence and how it is heightening public awareness about this issue. A study released last year by Abu Dhabi Public Prosecution indicated that domestic violence cases were on the rise. However, DWE officials said cases of domestic violence in the UAE were not high if compared with other countries, and affirmed that a law to combat the problem will contribute significantly to reduce these cases. They added that the DWE received 492 cases for foreigners and 20 internal cases last year. The future of global food security, production and agriculture will be in top focus during a forum which will be organized in Abu Dhabi during March this year. The UAE capital will host the second edition of Global Forum for Innovations in Agriculture from the 9th to the 11th of March, where discussions will be held on the next generation agricultural solutions and trends shaping the future of sustainable farming. Organized by Abu Dhabi Food Control Authority, the event will feature 6 conferences and is expected to attract more than 250 speakers and delegates to address key issues surrounding food security and climate resilience. According to the organizers, climate-smart food production is a critical factor for the UAE and other water-constrained parts of the world. It was further added that through the event, they aim to unite the Middle East behind sustainable solutions for food security and to harness new technologies for the desert landscape. Rising healthcare costs have led government agencies in the region to strengthen public-private sector partnerships over the past years. In 2014, the UAE healthcare expenditure rose by more than 16%. This presents a wide range of opportunities for healthcare organizations around the globe, according to event organizer Informa Life Sciences Exhibitions. Evident at the ongoing Arab Health Exhibition and Congress, the increase in participation this year sees major delegations from China, with 556 participating companies, a 10% increase from 2014, Germany with 532 companies, representing a 22.5% increase from last year, and the UAE with more than 353 companies exhibiting an increase of 24%. Among the highlights of the 40th Arab Health is a wide variety of innovative solutions on show. Companies such as Care Fusion say they have been involved in Arab Health for many years. As they continue to witness the growing demand in the UAE and the region's healthcare business, they aim to contribute to this growth by delivering affordable healthcare and preventing infections through advanced technologies and increased automation.
We partnered recently with King Faisal Specialist Hospital Group, where we have a automated pharmacy dispensing system, not only for inpatients but also for outpatients. In terms of the UAE, we have a partnership with Saha in terms of infusion, where we have automated infusion systems, again, helping the clinicians to get back to basics and look after the patients. The new ventilator, which is the IX5, is being introduced to carry on this theme of helping clinicians spend more time with the patients. You know, ventilators, like a lot of products in healthcare, are becoming more and more complex. They give the clinician much more information, but sometimes there's information overload. With the IX5, we have an innovative screen called the Clear View, and it's a graphic picture of the lungs, and at one glance from a distance you can see that the patient is having an effective ventilation. You can also see if that patient is making efforts of their own, which might mean you'll be able to get them off the ventilator quicker. You get them off the ventilator quicker, you free up the bed space, and then you can capitalize on the economics of reducing hospital stay.
Meanwhile, Trivitron is showcasing the first fully automatic NBS system from Lab Systems Diagnostics. According to company officials, the newborn screening system will help in the early diagnosis of congenital or inherited metabolic disorders, early diagnosis and treatment of inborn errors or of metabolism or IEM will significantly reduce morbidity, mortality and associated disabilities for those affected.
If you test the baby early enough, as an example for thyroid function, if the baby is deficient and you find out at 3 days of life that the baby has a deficiency in thyroid, if not treated, it will become mentally retarded for life and irreversibly. And if you treat the baby early enough, he will have a normal development and run happily ever after with his family. This machine presented here is our new machine. It's fully automated for detection and massive screening of newborn babies. It addresses all different immunoassays such as hypothyroidism, PKU, 17-hydroxyprogesterone, biotinidase deficiency, G6PD, galactosemia, and you can run all of the assays in that one walk-away machine. So the babies arrived, when they are discharged, we take a sample on a filter blood. The sample is sent to a central laboratory, placed on the machine, and then it's a complete walk-away system. So the lab technician can put the sample on the machine, and a few hours later they get the result for the babies. We have one machine in Saudi Arabia. We are now looking at another one in Kuwait. We have some offers going on in Egypt and other countries of the region.
And finally, in the bulletin, the Abu Dhabi Tourism and Culture Authority has begun its public program, Multaka Zayed National Museum, a new series of talks centered around the narrative of Zayed National Museum that is set to chart the journey of the museum itself. The program, which will run until May, introduces Zayed National Museum to the public, telling the story of the UAE through the life and achievements of the late Sheikh Zayed bin Sultan Al Nahyan. Last night, the public gathered for the opening talk entitled How a National Museum Reflects National Identity and revealed the role of the museum in further shaping and affirming the national identity of the UAE. The series is currently taking place across the country with lectures set up in various locations such as Manarat al-Sadiyat, Qasr al-Husn and Al Ain Palace Museum. For more information, the public can log on to sadiyatculturaldistrict.ae.
The building of museums in Abu Dhabi was part of an overall cultural strategy that seeks to achieve two goals. The first is to consolidate the national identity and our heritage, especially in a world in which we live today, which is becoming more globalized and homogenized. And it's important for us to keep our roots, but at the same time to build bridges to other civilizations and cultures. So these museums will, by reinforcing our own roots, our national identity, our heritage, also open bridges to the rest of the world, since we do live in a small global village, and the Emirates has always been a crossing between different continents and cultures.